Hi, today it is, let's see, what day is it today? Today is, the 5th, today's the 5th, and I'm doing this little motion vlog thing. I do want to give a shout out, though, to, Weston, and from autismnews.com and his dad, because his dad tried to view my vlogs and there's been a problem with the videos. Well, at least for him there's been a problem. I'm thinking it's probably, I just want to give a shout out to you guys. Hope you all will be able to watch this. I just want to give a shout out to you guys and tell you that I appreciate you guys. And if you do end up being able to view this, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so here's the lowdown on this week. And the reason I'm moving around like this is because since I'm doing part of this, to dedicate to, because I was giving a shout out to autismnews.com. I know Weston likes videos where people are moving, and so I'm going to do, if he's able to view this, I'm sure he's going to like this, but I'm sorry, I know I'm going overboard, but okay. So here's the lowdown on what happened this week. Okay, so Monday, I get a different bus driver again in the morning, and this is part of the message I want to give to anyone, if you know a parent who has autism, make sure that the bus company keeps up with their promise. If they are promising, to keep the kids with the same driver, I would say, just have them, make sure the bus company, if it's not a school district transportation, if it's a different transportation company, make sure they know. And yeah, I think that's my message, is just, to make sure that they get the same driver, your kids get the same drivers every day, or the same driver every day, if the bus company keeps sending you different drivers. And that's kind of my message. And for RNS, you guys really need to start listening. RNS is the transportation company that I use to get to school and home. Okay, so here's what happened with RNS, and this is the problem. I had a wonderful driver for a while named Sheila, and then I don't know what happened, because then they started, and Sheila told me they were not supposed to do this. They started sending me different drivers every single day. I mean, there was not a break in, where you can have the same driver. They every single week they keep sending different drivers, and they're not supposed to be doing this. They are not supposed to be doing this. And let me tell you, I'm glad I'm not with a regular taxi company, because I would have been kicked off of their cab, because this transportation company, the reason we got switched to this is because they're able to it's because our bus driver from Triton retired, and they needed a bus service that could transport, and they couldn't find any other buses to do special ed. But what I'm gonna say is that for my sister and I, so they switched us over to RNS, and they transport, people, including people who are blind and who are on the autism spectrum, like me and my sister. Okay, so what happened is that the drivers, they kept sending us different drivers every week for 2 years. And then they started keeping us with the same driver. And now they quit and they started sending us different drivers again because it's easier on them. And that's not good for my sister and I, or others like us, who have autism, who are, have problems with that, with too much change and that kind of thing. And the other kicker is that we're also blind, although that doesn't seem to matter. The other drivers don't seem to mind that. But anyway, people who they're blind and they have, autism and stuff, that's just not right that they're putting us with different drivers, and yet nobody is saying anything, we're going to start having you with different drivers again. No. Nobody ever told us this. And we just got put with different drivers. I'm being totally honest. And then when we got to school, it was okay. So, the kicker was Monday when my sister was not picked up at the same time I was, like normal. And then I ended up getting a male driver. My sister would have been the one to normally get a male driver, because my sister's driver was male. Okay, so, anyway, we go to school, and then I get worried at school, because I'm worried my sister's not at school, and then finally she gets to school, and then most of the week is pretty much uneventful. And then we go shopping on Thursday. I forget Ozzy Osbourne's birthday when I got home yesterday. And yesterday was my breaking point with the bus company. I was not happy with the bus company because they said they did what they said they weren't going to do anymore. And that was my breaking point. I just couldn't do it. Like, literally, I couldn't do it. And this is the first week this is like the second week, I think the first or second week, without music. Oh yeah, it's the first week. Without having music in the work program. And it went okay up until, Friday. I just couldn't handle it, and I had to illegally bring my music in there anyway, because, I just couldn't take it anymore. And that's another thing that you can realize, workplaces, because some don't allow it. Sometimes they need it for behaviors, and sometimes they need it, just to work better, because, like, if you're doing a job you don't like, and there's no music or anything, and you're bored out of your mind, you're going to want to have music in there. I'm not kidding. And if anyone says anything like that, this is to parents. If anyone says anything like that, about your autistic kids, if your autistic kid is into music and they want to have music, while they're working, and there is no music in whatever workplace you guys are in, just tell them, I need to send a music player, like an iPod or whatever. I use a CD player right now. With your kid, my CD player has a radio in it, by the way. Or just send a regular AM/FM radio with your kid. Adult radio. If they say you can't do that, then, just let them know. Let the program that your kid's working with at this job know what's going on. Explain to the program what's going on. I cannot stress this enough. Explain this to your program, that your kid needs the music to work better. Because the work program tried to do it to me. And apparently I didn't get in trouble yesterday because I'm thinking the principal, did this. He intervened and, he intervened with, Mrs. Talshaw, who is the work director, and, let her know what was going on. And what I found out, the reason that we couldn't have music in there is because most students got distracted by it, whereas me, if it's a particularly boring job, it actually helps me work better and more efficiently. If it's a job that I don't necessarily like, that I get bored with easily, and, yeah, I'm glad I told the principal this, and I told the principal about the bus company to have him try to talk to the bus company and let him know what's going on, because, man, this is getting ridiculous. This is really getting ridiculous. But I only have a couple weeks left at the school, but still, they shouldn't be doing this. They should not be doing this. And if it was consistent, maybe I wouldn't be getting so upset and having behaviors on the bus. That's why I'm having behaviors why my sister and I are had behaviors on the bus. It was not consistent. Because you kept sending different drivers and dumping, the newest drivers that are not trained, that don't know how to handle, people like us. You keep dumping them on us. And yeah, because they kept putting us with the newest drivers. Like, they put us with drivers that, have only worked there for like a week or a month. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's okay what you're doing. No, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're transporting people with autism to school. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be totally honest. You cannot keep doing this. Sure. You want to do this because it's easier for you. The bus company wants to do it because it's easier on them. And more money for their drivers. But that's not going to help us. Really, that's not going to help us. And I did ask one of their drivers for permission to vlog about this, by the way. But I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Just get your act together. That's what I'm trying to say. And this is... yeah. Well, I'm going to be done here. You have a fabulous day, and I will see you later.